You're watching coverage you can count on. This is News Channel 15's News at 6.
Now at 6, water on the rise. Floodwaters are already covering much of the Fort Wayne area, and the rivers haven't even crested yet. Good evening. I'm Mark Mellinger.
And I'm Heather Herron. The city has been working since last night preparing for today's flooding.
Crews have been out helping homeowners by pumping standing water today. We start tonight with News Channel 15's Lamar Holiday. He's live along State Boulevard with an update on what the city's doing now. Lamar?
Well, Mark and Heather, we're right here on Eastbrook Drive, and as you can see right behind me, water is still rising. Actually, here on the street, the water was at street level, but as you can see, it has receded, but it's still flooded. Now, with me, I have Frank Suarez with the city of Fort Wayne. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. What is an update on what you guys are doing this evening?
We have crews out that are looking at the levees and making sure that they're still holding and that everything is in good shape that way. We're still monitoring the situation with some street flooding, and we have some new streets that are closed, and I think you guys have that information on your screens tonight. And so we will continue to monitor those situations, and we have pumps in many of those areas to try to get the water out of the area. And we'll just be monitoring mainly and seeing what's going to happen overnight.
And are you guys going to be working into the weekend?
Yes, we will. Yes.
And for those people who live in homes near flooding, how can they get assistance with that?
If somebody has a major issue over the weekend, if it's an emergency, they should call 911. They can call 311 if they have some questions about street flooding or things of that nature. And it will go to a recording, but if they listen, they can go to the prompts and they can get into the water department or the sewer department, and storm sewers would be part of that. So storm sewers are an important part of that.
All right, Frank Suarez with the city of Fort Wayne, thank you so much for joining us. And for those road closure updates, be sure to head over to Wayne.com. For now, reporting live on Eastbrook Drive in Fort Wayne, Lamar Holiday, News Channel 15.
We certainly hope not, but could we see any more rain tonight?
Let's get to the weather answer man, Chief Meteorologist Jonathan Conder.
More rain, but not flooding rain.
Good.
We're talking sprinkles. That's it. That's all you need to
sprinkles.
That's sprinkles. So not much more of an impact on the flooding, but we'll still have some flooding issues, and there's still flood warnings for all the counties highlighting green. Here's the deal, folks. We're going to talk river levels here in just a moment, but no wonder why. Look at all the rain. Just in the last 24 hours, Fort Wayne, 3 inches, Huntington, 4.6, Marion, 4.2, even 3.5 over in Columbia City. Live Doppler 15 Fury, it sprinkles, folks, just from South Whitley over towards Lutheran Hospital. A few more up near Rome City and Kendallville, and these are all moving to the east, and so this will be ongoing for most of the evenings. If you're heading to the Tin Cats game, sprinkles and temperatures now, they're above freezing. We have 37 in Fort Wayne, 39 in Huntington, 40 in Portland. But eventually temperatures fall tonight, and we'll see a few flurries mixing in with a low of 30 degrees for tomorrow morning. Now, with all the inches of rain that have come down, we've been monitoring our local river levels, and Nicholas Ferreri is here with the latest on river flooding.
Thanks, Jonathan. All the rain we've picked up is now in the process of draining away, but it's going to be a long process, with rivers reaching their highest points from now through the weekend. In a change from my 5 o'clock report, only 2 rivers are now at major flood stage. These include the Eel River at North Manchester, which is expected to reach record flood levels when it crests at 8 tonight at just under 16 feet. Also included is the Little River around Huntington, which is cresting now. Also a change from 5. The Mississinewa is no longer at major flood stage, but in moderate flood stage. So some minor improvement there, with it now falling. It joins the list of a number of other local rivers at moderate flood stage. Other rivers in this category are the Maumee at Fort Wayne, which will crest at 2 tomorrow afternoon, and the St. Joe River around Newville and Montpelier. The St. Joe will crest around Newville by 8 Sunday morning, but a time is not yet available for its crest at Montpelier. Another river at moderate flood stage is the Wabash River at Wabash. An update here, its crest did not occur this morning as expected, and it is still rising. No updated crest time is yet available. The rest of our area rivers are at minor flood stage, but some of these current levels will change as all of this rain works its way out. We do have links on our Wayne.com weather blog and weather page that will connect you to the most up-to-date river information for you to track in the coming days. From the Weather Center tonight, I'm Nicholas Ferreri, News Channel 15.
Some homeowners in southwest Fort Wayne have evacuated tonight, and it's not the first time they've had to rebuild from flood damage. Neighbors say they have complained to the city for several years and that nothing has been done. But relief may be on the way. News Channel 15's Gina Galeros joins us from a neighborhood off of Lower Huntington Road. Gina?
Evacuations are not mandatory, but officials are keeping a close eye on the water levels. Now, neighbors say they are tired of being on call in a high flood zone. Homeowners woke up Friday to find overwhelming amounts of water.
When I left my house at 7 o'clock this morning, I had 14 inches of water in my home. And God only knows how much now.
Neighbors living off of Daleview and Bear Drive say they complain to the city every year.
This is an area that has had this happen in the past. I don't believe it happened last year, but it did happen in 2011. And listening to some of the residents, this is not uncommon for them.
We get sewer up in our toilets, up in our tubs, in our house. And then when the inspectors come down through here, they're like, oh, it's just regular water. No, it's sewer water.
Neighbors like Michelle McCaney say they've called the city several times.
What does it take to tell somebody that this neighborhood needs some fixing? They need to work on the ditches. They need to work on the ditch over here. They need to work on the pump system back here.
The Board of Public Works says it has been monitoring the area. It last checked the neighborhood around 8:15 Thursday night.
They got called and went back and talked to the residents at around 9, and then we ordered some pumps and put those out there in the area.
Residents may get some relief sooner than they think. The city is planning a project to widen the storm sewer pipe going through Fairfield Ditch.
So it'll take more water out of that area when there is heavy rain, which we think will help alleviate that in the future.
In the meantime, folks want quick attention to avoid the heartache.
It takes years to rebuild. You don't come back easy from this. And when you do come back, it hits a little bit harder every time.
That project should be up for bid in the fall. For now, in an emergency, if you need a pump, call 311 and after hours 911. In Fort Wayne, Gina Galeros, back to you.
Several other areas are also underwater. Here is a look at Foster Park, where the water is up to the top of the fence line. Parks leaders say it was rising about an inch an hour there this morning. Taylor at Freeman also has standing water. Cheryl Gillespie used our Report It feature to send us this picture. It's a power station out on Monroeville Road. And Aaron sent us this shot of Lake and Landon, an area we understand often collects a lot of water, and it certainly has today. If you'd like to send us your flooding pictures or video, you can do that using the Report It tool on WANE.com. Do be sure to include your name and where you snapped the pictures.
City and county officials have been updating us with road closures all day long. Some of the major interruptions include Taylor at Freeman, the 8900 block of Auburn Road, Aboit Center Road at West Hamilton, and Cook Road between Butt and Felger. For a full list of the road closures, just head to the homepage of WANE.com.
In the Allen County town of Zanesville, rescue crews helped people in a mobile home park evacuate very early this morning.
We were there keeping an eye on the flooding overnight and told you about it on First News. Now, News Channel 15's Megan Royst joins us with the very latest.
Mark and Heather, everyone made it out okay. This afternoon, the water was receding. Fire officials say they rescued about 60 people this morning, but not everyone wanted to leave. Dan McCune decided to stay. He has lived in Stony Creek Mobile Home Park for 8 years. McCune says it's not uncommon to see flooding in this area. He blames it on an 8-mile creek running through his backyard.
It could be here for a while, but I've seen it go down within a day or so it won't stay very long.
We thought we can't get our vehicles out, and we have 3 kids, so we just wanted to make sure that we could get them safe, and then if we had to wade back in to get something else, that would be fine. But, we just wanted to make sure that the kids were okay.
A nearby church opened its doors to people from the mobile home park. The American Red Cross brought cots, pillows, and blankets so they could spend the morning there. And this afternoon, they were moved from the church to a hotel. And emergency crews earlier this morning had the electricity and gas shut off, and we're not quite sure yet when that will be turned back on.
Okay, thanks so much, Megan.
Less than 24 hours after the FBI released pictures of the Boston Marathon bombing suspects, one of them is dead and the other is on the run. Most of the Boston metro area has been on lockdown since early this morning. Police have been swarming a suburb looking for the man, who they say is either wearing an explosive vest or has some type of explosives with him. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is from a former Soviet republic near Chechnya. His older brother, the other bombing suspect, died after a shootout with police overnight. Police say they started zeroing in on the brothers after the brothers shot and killed an MIT campus police officer last night.
The Mercer County Sheriff's Department in Ohio has finished its investigation into a shooting involving a police officer that left one man dead. This morning, Sheriff Gray said he believes Salina police officer Andy Regadans shot the victim to protect himself and others nearby. Robert Hensley died from his injuries after the April 10th incident. Police say they told Hensley to drop his gun, but that he instead started waving it around.
Still to come on News Channel 15 at 6. Could all the flooding put a damper on tomorrow's opening of the Fort Wayne Zoo? We'll have what you need to know up next.
Coverage you can count on continues with Heather Herron and Mark Mellinger.
It's official. The raft race is coming back to this year's Three Rivers Festival. Organizers made that announcement this morning. After a 15-year hiatus, the raft race will run on July 20th, thanks to donations from Bill Bean and Bruce Dye. It'll include more than $14,000 in cash prizes. For more details, just go to the local page of Wayne.com.
We have spent a lot of this newscast showing you the local flooding. Well, it is also affecting the Fort Wayne Zoo.
So what does that mean for opening day tomorrow? We go to News Channel 15's Alyssa Ivinson for the answer.
As you can see, Franke Park is pretty flooded, and this is where the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo is. It's all set to open tomorrow, and there is a little bit of flooding inside the zoo, but zoo officials say it will not affect opening day. They are working to get everything ready for people to come in tomorrow. They've been working all week getting the zoo in tip-top shape, remulching. Now some of that mulch in the middle of the sidewalk. But that's not going to get their spirits down. They are still working to get everything crowd ready tomorrow. The only exhibit really affected is the farm area. The goats actually were already in their enclosure because of some construction, so when the floodwater came, that really wasn't an issue. And flooding really is not that uncommon at the zoo.
With all the rain we had yesterday, this flooding was not unexpected. This is typical of what we experience at the zoo with the heavy rain. We are in a floodway, or Franke Park is, and the zoo is in Franke Park, so it's not unusual. It's kind of disappointing to have it the day before we open, but we're taking care of it.
Debris clogged a drain in front of the sea lions, but really that just provided some extra entertainment for the animals. And the parking lot entrance into the zoo right now is still flooded, but officials do think that that should go down by opening day tomorrow. If the water is not down by the time it opens tomorrow at 9 a.m., zoo officials say you can still park in the lot right across the street. At the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo, Alyssa Ivinson, News Channel 15.
Kind of a cold opening day, too, for the zoo.
Winds today were gusting to 44 miles an hour. The high this afternoon was only 40 degrees. It was chilly.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what the wind chills were doing. The highest temperature today was at 1 a.m. It was 56, and most of the rain happened yesterday, but a two-day total is about 3 inches. But what can you expect about your weekend, folks? That's what it's all about. That forecast coming up here in a few minutes.
Coverage you can count on continues with Chief Meteorologist Jonathan Conder's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
When I think of a typical April day, I think about sunshine and the birds are out and the flowers are coming out. And I looked outside the window today and our little goldfinches, they were shivering. They didn't even want to get out and fly because all those winds. And we're going to do something about those winds. We're going to do something about the rain, and we're going to do something about the temperatures. It's all an improvement by the end of the weekend. You have to wait till the end of the weekend for the warm-up, folks. And right now, if you're out and about or heading out and about this evening, out on Friday night, you're going to be running in more of this, some light rain. It's out there, Rome City, over towards the Villa. It's all moving to the east. Allen County, a little break here, more coming across Dunphy right now, and there's more back to the west. And Silver Lake, see where the little yellow is, a little more intense shower. No flooding rain. These are just kind of nuisance showers, and they'll continue for a good portion of the evening. We'll look at rain chances here in just a moment, but look at all the 24-hour rain totals. This is a lot of rain. Angola, 2.2, 2.97 in Fort Wayne, 4.6 in Huntington, 4.3 in Wabash, Marion, 4.2, hence all the flooding in the area. And if you live by a river and you're really worried about the river levels around your house, go to Wayne.com, go to our weather blog, and we have a kind of a one-stop shop for river forecasts. So go there. We have all the links that you need to find out what the rivers are going to do in your area. And look at some of this flooding here, folks. Number one severe weather killer, flash flooding. Jared Paulson, appreciate that picture down in Warren, Indiana. Don't drive through this. I've done it storm chasing, and it didn't result in a good outcome. Dana Robinson, Columbia City, right in the neighborhood here. So you may not have this at your house, but this is what's happening across the area. And all those people using the Report It app, we appreciate that. Any more rain? Yeah, we saw it on radar there. Chance of rain this evening, 40% chance. It's real hit and miss. Look at all the goose eggs for tomorrow. We're dry. You're happy, right? Dry Saturday. It's all good. It's going to be a chilly weekend, though. We're 39 now. We drop down to below freezing. We're down to 30 degrees tomorrow morning, high of 45. So it's an improvement from this afternoon, and then we're going to have a little rain for next week. So the big picture here, scattered showers. At least it's not snow. I Skyped with my mom and dad today in Minnesota, and I swear it looked like the planet Hoth. They had about 10 inches of fresh snow from last night. So they're running the snowblowers. It can always be worse, right? So here we go, Futurecast. Not a lot of snow, but eventually at some point tonight, some of our light sprinkles may change over to flurries. That's all it's going to be. It turns off by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Clouds break. They come back. They break. So we're in and out of the clouds for tomorrow. An improvement in the temperatures. Not so much tomorrow. We're 45. We jump up to 57 on Sunday. 60s to start next week, but with the slightly warmer weather, a little rain, mainly Tuesday night through Wednesday morning, a little rumble of thunder. As of right now, we're not outlooked for flooding rain, but here's the deal. Considering the current river levels, I think just a half inch or inch of rain could really put a stress on the rivers, so we kind of need to watch that.
Some of them haven't even crested yet. So.
Very true.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Jonathan.
Randy is here with sports tonight, and we're going to hear from Andrew Luck.
That's right. Of course, it's a busy night for football. Spring game going over at St. Francis in just a little bit. We'll tell you about that. But first, we will hear from the Colts' second-year quarterback, Andrew Luck. That's coming up next in sports.
Coverage you can count on continues. This is News Channel 15's News at 6.
Good evening. Glenn has the night off. Round 2 of the Andrew Luck era is underway in Indianapolis. After a rookie campaign that helped land the Colts in the playoffs, the quarterback has even higher expectations this year. All week, Luck and the Colts have held off-season workouts. The team's been talking about the differences from this year and last, and now that the young team knows what's needed to win, they're ready to take their game to the next level.
I think you are aware of, external factors and things that happens, but, I think you go to every guy in this locker room and then they're going to be their own worst critic. I think this team's full of a bunch of guys that work their butts off, that are going to be hard on themselves if they mess up, and, I just try and fit in with those guys, and so there's a lot to improve. I wish could have done some things better last year, but it's on to this year, and we'll go with it.
The Colts learned last night they'll open the season with the Oakland Raiders. They own the 24th pick in next week's draft. Locally, it's the end of spring practices for the St. Francis football program. Proceeds from the Cougar spring game tonight will benefit Northrop freshman Noah Barbnick and his family. A skiing accident on Christmas Eve left the teenager paralyzed from the breastbone down.
We're going to win. I guarantee you we're going to win. It'll be the fastest second half in history. The thing about this tonight, our players wanted to do something for a young man that went through a tragedy last December, and the purpose of tonight, other than to get our last workout of the year in, is to help someone in this community.
Start at 7:30. It's $10 to get into the game. The Fort Wayne Tin Caps return home for their second weekend series of the year. Tonight, Joe Ross takes the mound in the series opener. Tonight's contest with Lansing begins at 7:05. And today in softball, IPFW saw its 9-game win streak come to an end. The Dons lost to North Dakota State this afternoon. The two teams are on the field for the second game of their doubleheader right now. And we'll be right back with one last look at your forecast.
The weekend. It's finally here. I know you're excited. I'm excited. And we're going to do something about those winds. They're going to come down a little bit tonight. And by tomorrow morning, 15, 20-ish. Down to 30 for the low, and between now and about midnight, you may see a few sprinkles mixing in with a few flakes. I'm talking flurries. Tomorrow, some sun, a little chilly, 45, could be worse, 57. Big improvement on your Sunday. Into the work week, we get in the 60s. Monday's a nice day if you need a comp day or a sick day, but Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, a little rain.
And a little bit chillier, too.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Jonathan.
A special one-hour edition of the CBS Evening News is coming up next.